A cell is a self-contained unit. It acts as an autonomous independent unit and has its own lifespan. Each cell contains various components to carry out all biological activities such as excretion, respiration, nutrition, multiplication, etc. In fact, each cell has to produce its own energy required by oxidizing food. All these characters are well illustrated by unicellular organisms, which mean they behave and live as an independent entity. Dear Slaters, you have already learnt about the existence of microscopic organisms in nature through Leeuwenhoek's findings. So, based on the number of cells in an organism, all the organisms are broadly classified as unicellular and multicellular organisms. Slaters, can you give some more names of unicellular organisms? Yes, bacteria, yeast, plasmodium, etc. In a unicellular organism such as amoeba, bacteria, etc., all the life processes are performed by their single cell body. For performing various activities, they have intercellular components called cell organelles. To accommodate various cell organelles, a cell has to be sufficiently large. Hence, the size of the cells in unicellular organisms is slightly larger than those in multicellular organisms. Children, do the larger cell size of unicellular organisms have any advantage over a smaller size? Think over. We will discuss at the end of this topic. On the other hand, multicellular organisms are made up of millions and trillions of cells. Can you find out the names of some multicellular organisms? Worms, spiders, ants, tigers, trees. Do you know how many cells are approximately present in our body? Believe it or not, it is 100 trillion. So, we are multicellular organisms and perform all the functions such as respiration, excretion, digestion, etc. To perform these functions, we have different organ systems and each organ system consists of different organs. Each organ is made up of different tissues and these tissues are made up of cells. So, the cell is the basic structural unit of our body and each cell has the capacity to perform basic functions. But there is a division of labor in multicellular functions such as in humans. Similarly, the division of labor is also seen within a single cell. In fact, each such cell has got certain specific components within it called cell organelles. Each kind of cell organelle has a special function to perform. A cell is able to live and perform all its functions because of these organelles. It is also interesting that all cells are found to have the same organelles no matter what there is or what organisms they are found in. I hope you have all understood this. Now, try to answer these questions. Why is the cell considered the basic structural and functional unit of living organisms? Every multicellular organism has come from a single cell. Can you name it? Children, shall we try and answer the question which was posed earlier? That is, does the larger cell size of unicellular organisms have any advantage over a smaller size? No. The size of the cell is as per the ratio of the volume of the cell to its surface area. The increase in cell size will decrease the cell surface area proportionately. This reduces efficiency as it limits the control of the nucleus in the exchange of material and information. This is also one of the reasons for the less lifespan of unicellular organisms. Dear Slaters, do all organisms look alike? No, isn't it? Are all cells in similar size and shape? No. This is because the structural organization of multicellular organism shows the highest order of division of labor. For example, we have different organs to perform different functions. Students, what is the function of the heart? To pump the blood to all the body parts, right? Then what is the function of the stomach and the muscles of the legs? To digest food and locomotion. This means we have different organs to perform different functions. A heart requires such cells which are contracted rhythmically and never fatigue. Similarly, the stomach needs a special cell that can secrete digestive juices as well as must be contractile in nature. Imagine what may happen if all these organs are made up of similar cells of similar size and shape. None of the functions can be performed smoothly. So, in multicellular organisms, the cells vary in size and shape. The size and shape of cells, in fact, is related to the function they perform. Cell size. The size of different cells varies from few centimeters to micrometers. Some of the plants and animal cells can be seen with naked eye. The single acetabularium measures about 10 centimeters. Fiber cells of Manila hemp are around 100 centimeters in length. Similarly, the largest animal cell is ostrich egg, 18 centimeters, and the longest cell is nerve cell. However, most of the cells are microscopic and can be seen only with a microscope. The smallest cell is Mycoplasma gallisepticum, which is an intermediate of a bacterium and a virus. Human RBC is 7 to 20 micrometers and liver and kidney cells are 20 to 30 micrometers in size. Do you know the size of amoeba? It is the biggest among unicellular organisms. Its length is 65 micrometers. However, the size of multicellular organisms does not depend on the size of the cells but depends on the number of cells of the body. For example, the cells of a tall tree, whale, an elephant, etc. are necessarily larger than smaller animals like rats, spiders, worms. The cause of the larger size of their bodies is the enormous cells present in their body. Dear Slaters, can you answer now that who will have a comparatively large number of cells and whose cells are larger in size? Is it mice or elephant? Undoubtedly, the elephant has comparatively larger number of cells, but the size of cells in mice would be larger than those in an elephant. This is the reason why small animals have a higher metabolic rate. You will learn about this in the higher classes. Now, let's know about the cell shape. Do all organisms look similar in shape? No. Why is it so? It is due to the variation in the structural organization. Dear Slaters, as you all know that a multicellular organism has different organ systems to perform different functions. To perform different functions, the shape of the cells is also adapted. Cells show a great variation in their shapes to suit their functions. Most cells have a definite shape. Students, have you observed the different shapes of cells in this picture? See, the shape of smooth muscle cell is spindle shape. Do you know where do they found? They are present in stomach, intestines, blood vessels, etc. Observe the shape of nerve cell. It has an elongated body. Can you say what is the function of the nerve cell? It conducts the impulses from one organ to another. The shape of RBC is circular and biconcave. Because the circular and biconcave shape provides more surface area to volume ratio so that oxygen can diffuse in and out at a faster rate. Here you can observe the shapes of other cells such as osteocytes, chromatophores that are branched in shape. Even the cells of plants show a great disparity in shapes. The guard cells of stomata found on the leaf are bean-shaped. Xylem vessels which help in the transportation of water in plants, and they are cylindrical and tubular. Some of the cells may not have any definite shape. That is, they have irregular bodies like leukocytes and amoeba. So, By and large, the shape of the cell is said to be controlled several factors like function, age, external pressure, location, tension, etc. Have you all noted the points? I hope you have understood well. Now, here are few questions to be answered. 1. Why guard cells are bean-shaped? 2. Which are the smallest and largest cells? 3. How is smaller cell size more advantageous to multicellular organisms than a larger cell size?